Good morning, football. We're here in Indianapolis, and we're here right now with the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers, Matt Rhule. Welcome to Good Morning Football.
I'm fired up to be here. Thank you very much.
We love having you on the show, and it has been a whirlwind. I would say it's been a crazy 2 months for you. You go from being the head coach of the Baylor Bears, coaching in a bowl game, to very quickly being the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Now that things have kind of settled quite a bit, how's life in Carolina?
It's great, and I think that's what's fun about coming to the Combine. There's finally a sense of, let's get to the job. You know, I've enjoyed living at the Marriott Residence Inn, and
it's been wonderful.
I've enjoyed all those things, but to be here and actually start really, diving into the day-to-day grind of the job, which I love, that's really fun.
The difference from being a college coach at the Combine to being a pro coach. A lot of these college coaches come in, they see their guys, they wish them well. You've been to the Combine as a college coach. What's it like as being an NFL head coach where that logo is emblazoned on your breast, like, hello, I'm here?
Well, I don't think, even I appreciated how much of a grind it is as a coach. I mean, like, I'm in every interview. You're trying to take advantage of every opportunity to get to know the players, get to know who they are. They're obviously really well prepared for this. So, I'll watch them run, I'll watch them jump, all those things. But the interviews where you have a chance to sit down and talk to players and see what their mindset is, there's a lot of them. It takes a lot of time, but I think it's really, really obviously worth it.
We do Good Morning Football. We do a show that is 3 hours every day, and I'm talking every day. We're talking in May, in June. Cam Newton has been the topic of our show about 40 times in the last 41 shows. I'm sure it's a topic with you, too. I'm going to give you the floor. What is the current state of Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers?
And I want to make sure you know that the show's on in my office every morning for 3 hours.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
No, but, I think Cam had a chance to talk to me again the other night. Like, he's grinding. He's working. He wants to come back and have his next chapter be his best chapter. And so the things he's done have been fantastic. But he's been, beset by injuries the last 2 years. And so, we're just trying to get him healthy right now so that he can come back and not just be, playing, but be the player that he can be again. And so I think he's doing a great job. He's working really hard. I think our medical people are doing a great job with him and coming back from the shoulder and the foot. And what's unique is because he hurt his foot last year, I think he gave his shoulder another year to heal. So sure. I think his best football's ahead of him, and he's working to prove that right.
How do you keep it in a silo with all the national noise? And there's a report, someone sends a tweet out, and that you might not even know where it comes from, saying Cam's out in Carolina or Cam's in the Carolina, and it becomes national news. How do you manage that? And how do you manage that with a player who has been the face of the franchise for nearly a decade?
I think just always trying to be real with him, be real with all the players. And I think that guys have been through a lot, and they realize that things are always going to be said, things are always going to be out there, and we can't always think that that's true or it comes from us. So in my dealings, I just want to make sure that I'm always respectful of the players. I'm not going to go in the media and talk about contracts and things like that, because that's their lives. I don't want to talk about people's lives. And then two, when I say something, it better be true, and I better stick to my word. And so I'm just trying to be honest, communicative, up front, open, and hope that pays off in the long run.
This has been a transition year. Not only do you come in, you also bring Joe Brady, a 30-year-old offensive coordinator at LSU, who I have heard wonderful raves about, but a 30-year-old offensive coordinator in the NFL. What is that like, and how's the connection been so far?
It's been great, and I think the thing about Joe is that he just loves football. Like, there's not a lot of ego to him. There's not a lot of, hey, I did this last year, I did this year. He just loves football. And so I think we put a really good staff around him. Brought Pat Meyer in from kind of all over the NFL as the offensive line coach. Brian Angelico, guy who's been around a long time. A lot of guys who were with me at Baylor. Jake Peets staying on staff to coach the quarterback. So I think we put a good staff. But Joe Brady loves football. He loves the details. He loves the minutia. He loves the work. And so when you find a guy like that who's innovative and smart and bright, but also loves the details, it's pretty quick to see, like, hey, this is why this guy's so good.
Yeah, and it's also a transition with some guys missing and leaving. So we're no longer going to see Greg Olsen in the Carolina Panthers. We're no longer going to see Luke Kuechly. The new wave, the new breath, the new era of Carolina Panthers football. What can fans expect? Matt Rhule leading the way.
Well, I think we're going to try to build a big, fast, dynamic team. And so, as you said, it's always hard when, faces that guys you love, guys you grew up rooting for are no longer there. But, that's where we're at. And so right now we have to build this team moving forward with a bunch of tough, hardworking, competitive guys who are also fast and explosive. And so that's why the Combine is such a big, thing for us. At the stage we're at, we're going to get 7 picks. We can't miss on any of them. We need to find 7 guys who can help us, and that's the fun part about this league.
I want to go back a few weeks, and all the New York papers were Matt Rhule to the Giants, Matt Rhule to the Giants. David Tepper flies down to Waco, Texas, meets you, and then we find out in the morning the next day, Matt Rhule's going to the Carolina Panthers. Right. Can you just take us through that interaction in that meeting and really what went down so that you came out of that room and came out of your home saying, I want to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, I just think that when I met with Mr. Tepper and met with Marty Herney and Stephen Drummond, but Mr. Tepper, I think he set a vision for how he sees things. And, he's my owner. He's been really successful. And, I'm sitting there saying to myself, is he going to get football? Does he get this? Well, he got it all. And as I talked to him, it wasn't like I had to convince him, hey, this is what I believe in. What he believes in, the way to be successful, the way to do things long term are the same things that I believe in. And when he talks about, growing up admiring Chuck Noll, well, that's who I admire. And so I just left that interaction saying, you know what, he wants to win, but he also understands the discipline, the diligence it takes to win and be a great team year after year. And I just thought that alignment was really special, and I ran with it.
Okay, unbelievable stuff. And I would say one last thing, just for the guys at the table and also the people at home. Carolina Panthers fans, why should they be excited about Matt Rhule?
Well, I think they should just be excited about the future. I mean, we have great players already in-house, and we're going to continue to build and build and build. And I just hope they know from a guy like me, we're going to make sure we do this the right way. And from the draft to from the combine to the draft to free agency, we're just going to assemble a great team piece by piece by piece, and not cease until we bring a Super Bowl to Charlotte and the Carolinas.
He's authentic, he's real, and he's a viewer of Good Morning Football. So we like Matt Rhule. Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. One of our first guests at our draft in Philadelphia. You were the head coach of the Temple Owls.
That's right.
Just taking over Baylor, and now you're the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Guys, back to you in New York. Yeah. Matt Rhule here in Indianapolis.
Love that. Love seeing him, of course. Hate the stat line on the bottom of the screen. It says 5-11, losing their last 8 games. They're looking to turn it around. So back here, we're the guys at the breakfast table talking about Triggs. And he's not the only new head coach, but he's maybe the most fascinating.
He really is. And there's always a lot of polarizing opinions about college coaches making the jump to the pro, and sometimes they don't work out. There's a lot that he brings with him in the charisma and the talk. He knows how to play the game for sure. I mean, the Cam Newton question that Coach Rhule basically said, well, he's working hard. We want him healthy, and his best football's ahead of him. End of answer. It was really well done. I just look at this. Number 7 pick. All right? He comes after those Dolphins and those Chargers. Right. They may have a say in this, too. New owner, new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new everything. It's hard for me to imagine same old quarterback. It really is. But he's not telling anything right now. He's on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, when talking about Cam Newton, he said he's going to make his next chapter his best chapter.
It's a good quote.
This is a great quote.
I don't think I know if it means anything, but it's a good quote.
I think I heard that in hip-hop before. But you know what? That can also be applied to his regime as a coach, though. What are they going to do with the new Carolina Panthers? No Greg Olsen, no Luke Kuechly. But Peter talked about it. This is a new team. And Peter mentioned it when we had him on the show during the draft. See how much can change in a matter of 3 to 4 years. Mm-hmm. So I know that the next 3 to 4 years for the Carolina Panthers, including Matt Rhule being at the helm, is going to be very important.
Hard for Kyle to see them keeping Cam. What should they do?
They should keep him. They should keep him. At $21 million, you allow him to get healthy, and you hope for a little bit of an Andrew Luck outcome where they let him sit out. He came back. He threw 37 touchdowns and would have been the MVP if Pat Mahomes didn't throw.
We're back, counting down until the Combine in Indy kicks off the drills. Of course, there's players at the podium. There's coaches wandering around. But we have to get a news update with our guy, Will Selva, out in Culver City. What is shaking around the league?
Hey, what's going on there, Kay and guys? Well, the Redskins, of course, own the 2nd overall pick, and most mock drafts have them selecting Ohio State's Chase Young. Really, there's no need for them to draft a QB. They already have one in Dwayne Haskins, right? But head coach Ron Rivera is saying that's so fast. They'll look at all their options with that pick. NFL Network Insider Ian Rappaport reporting they would like Haskins to be the franchise QB. But if they believe Tua Tagovailoa is head and shoulders above Haskins, then they would have to consider taking him 2nd overall. All that being said, head coach Ron Rivera has been impressed by what he's seen so far from Haskins.
Well, I think one of the things that, Dwayne's done is he's been around. I mean, he's in the building. He'll pop by, say hello and wave at you and go get his workout in. He's been around a group of guys that do that. And so he's learning from their example. And one of the things that he and I talked about specifically is that he just continued to grow as a young man, as a person.
Well, Washington also has a decision to make with left tackle Trent Williams. Rivera saying they've had conversations and that it's a work in progress. Williams didn't play in 2019 after a holdout and dispute with the medical staff. Broncos defensive end Bradley Chubb missing 12 games this past season due to a torn ACL. And according to his head coach, Vic Fangio, Chubb will miss OTAs this spring, but will be ready for training camp. Fangio also